and we have to finish. And we are having one shloka per day. So that's why we are moving fast. We are not going to sing any bhajan. The host can make others disable if it then.
Yes, Prabhu, I'm muting them.
Yeah. So we will not be singing any Vaishnav bhajan because these 7 and 8 shlokas are very elaborate and we need to give some time for that. So we are going with the prayers directly. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So we are starting verse number 7, and this is very important verse for the sadhaka because this is the transition verse from the Vedi Bhakti to the Raganuga Bhakti. So this verse, if somebody practices nicely, then that person will be jumping from or going from the Vedi Bhakti to the Raganuga. And generally the people find difficulties to go from the Vedi to the stage of Raganuga because they are not following this verse or the norms of this verse, or they are not understanding what is this. So we have to carefully understand this verse, and then afterwards the verse number 8, 9, 10, 11, they are Raganuga Bhaktis, and they are the Bhava and Prema stages are been mentioned in this. But this is the last verse of the Vedi Bhakti. Vedi Bhakti means it is like a Vidhi. There is a sadhana bhakti where we are going with the rules and regulations. And Raganuga means it is a spontaneous love for Krishna. It is arousing in the heart of the sadhaka. So it is not rules, but he is automatically following the rules. So this verse is very important. So we will be singing this verse. Syat Krishna Nama Charita Disitapya Vidya. You can repeat after me.
Syat Krishna Nama
Charita Disitapya
Pitto Patapta Rasanastana Rochikanu. Intvadaratanudilam Kalusaiva Jushta. Swadvi Kramada Bhavati Tadgada Mula Hantri. Somebody can read this translation.
The holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet, like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue, and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Hare Krishna.
So there are the 3 themes in this translation and the purport. The first topic will be under discussion is that holy name, character, pastimes, and activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet. The first one is. The second one is that since a person is afflicted with the avidya, he is not able to test it. And the third one is, if he starts chanting carefully, This carefully is a really important word. He is giving a, I feel some voice is coming. So if that person is starts chanting carefully, very carefully means attentively, and giving a full attention to whatever he is chanting, he is hearing. And by that, he will be developing a test and he will overcome this avidya issue. The people are not understanding what is avidya. The word sometimes says that it is avidya means it is not having a knowledge. No, it is ignorance. It is a deep ignorance, and it is having the 5 stages. What is avidya? First means like there are the 5 things are there: avidya, asmita, then raga, dvesha, and abhinivesh. These 5 things consist of the avidya. The first one is avidya means like I will just repeat again: avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, and abhinivesh. So avidya is what? Considering the root, like the body as oneself, in essence, is avidya. Then asmita is what? After we are considering body as oneself, means like we are not the soul, we are the body. Once starts thinking that, then the person understands that, okay, I am the PhD one, I am the person who is the husband of somebody, I am the wife of somebody, and he lives like that. The materialistic responsibilities he is just following, and throughout the life, he is living the life like this only. Certain roles, and he is identifying with the roles and responsibilities. Materialistic roles and responsibilities. So that is called asmita. For example, if I am a computer engineer, I will be labeling myself. I am a computer engineer from the Patni software company or Canbay or many others. So that is a issue. Then what next it adds is that is like raga. Raga means it is a attachment. That person gets attached with certain things, and he is grossly attached with that person, with the things that these are my resources and I should use it. And the next thing is a dvesha. I don't like such things. I am not liking this material, this matter. I am liking that matter. So that is a dvesha. And abhinivesha is the grossly he is such a grossly he is engaged or stooped into that identity. Is that it's like I am the body, and every time he is looking at the body, how my hairs are there, how my complexion is glowing or not. So he is completely stooped, completely engrossed in that. That is abhinivesh. Every time, whenever he will be going into the market, how am I looking? And whether the people are identifying me that I am the scholarly person, I am the employee of that company, and they are glorifying me. So that is the abhinivesh. Abhinivesh is the last thing. Is like the people are in this world are stooped. They are totally engrossed with the abhinivesh. So that these 5 things are such a extent, it's like we are just making a fun. Oh, okay, Prabhuji, it is very easy that we are not this body, we are the soul, we are understanding. But why the things are not going? Because it is abhinivesha, it is a raga and dvesha, it is a asmita, it is a avidya in the root. So that's why it is in the root, whatever it is, avidya. That's why we are talking about that. The people are how they are actually understanding is like there is one shloka in a Bhagavatam. It is mentioned that Vishavishtha Vishnu na bhavet avishtha. The person who is Vishayavishtha. That's why one song says that na there is like there is a Vishay. There is been unless one is come out of the engrossment of this bodily identification and the things which is related with the body, he will not able to visualize the Vrindavan. I'm just forgetting that line. Is like the Vishayi, like the person who is becoming so much Vishayi, how he can see or identify the Vrindavan, whether it is what is the Vrindavan or what is the Krishna's holy places, he is not going to identify. So this revision we are doing is last time we have done it, the analogy of how a devotee gets spiritualized gradually. Is like we have seen that like whenever somebody is practicing the Krishna consciousness, he becomes like an iron rod in the fire. So we have to put ourselves into the fire of the Krishna consciousness. Then only that person will be spiritualized. What features one should see in a Vaishnava? One should see like he is not clear about his past or jati or the caste, but one should see the devotion. How to not see a pure Vaishnava is like the same thing. What are the primary and secondary characteristics of the Vaishnava? That also we have seen it. The person who is attached, like primary characteristic is like Krishnanu Shilinam Bhakti Uttamam, is like the person who is following the footsteps of the Krishna and his devotees. So we are going for the next slide again, like why Rupa Goswami talks about properly dealing with the Vaishnavas or the devotees before taking or talking about the chanting holy names. Like Sakale Sanmana Korite Shakati Deho Natha Jathayatha Tabe to Gaibe Harinama Sukhi Aparadha Habe Hatha. This is like the previous verse is talking about how to give the respect to the devotees. And now this verse will be talking about how to chant the holy name. So this is the prerequisite. One should be dealing with the Vaishnavas. That dealing has to be rectified. That dealing has to be very smooth. Then only one can able to chant the holy name. So that is a prerequisite to chant the holy name nicely. And there are the two types of control. If one does not, if one does out of false ego, then he will fall down. Our eagerness to chant will be destroyed if we disrespect the Vaishnavas. So again, it is like when we are not eager to chant, means like when we are started the chanting and we are becoming eager to chant, but the first verse or the sixth verse we are not following well, respecting the Vaishnava, our eagerness will go off. So 6 and 7, it is correlated. The verses are like that. 7th is the output of the 6th. If we are respecting the Vaishnavas, we are getting the blessings from them. We are not seeing their jati, or we are not seeing what they are. They are black or white, they are handicapped or what. But we are respecting them as per their gradation, is like neophyte or the Madhyamadhikari or the Uttamadhikari, and we are serving them as per their caliber. And then we are getting a test for the holy name. And once we are getting a test for the holy name, and we are not again following the 6th verse, then the test will go off. So 6 and 7, one should do simultaneously throughout his life, always respecting the Vaishnava and chant the holy name. Always respect the Vaishnava and chant the holy name. Chanting of the holy name is not separate exercise. Chanting of the holy name is with the Vaishnavas, to respect them, and then only our holy name or the things will be having the control and the power. This is like, then the next verse is talking about, somebody can read this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I read it?
Yeah, please go on.
Amesh Prabhuji, please carry on.
Please, Mataji, go ahead. That's okay.
Okay. The holy name of Lord Krishna, his quality, pastimes, and so forth are all of the nature of absolute truth, beauty and bliss. Naturally, they are very sweet, like sugar candy, which appeals to everyone. Nescience is jaundice. A person suffering from jaundice cannot palatably relish sugar candy. To him, the sugar candy seems bitter. Similarly, avidya or ignorance perverts one's ability to relish the transcendently palatable name, quality, form, and pastimes of Krishna. Despite this disease, if one with great care and attention takes to Krishna consciousness, chanting the holy name, and hearing Krishna's transcendental pastimes, his ignorance will be destroyed, and his tongue enabled to taste the sweetness of the transcendental nature of Krishna and his paraphernalia. I can't see the lower line.
Such a recovery of the spiritual health is possible only, just a moment, I will. That is gone. Such a recovery of the spiritual health is possible only by the regular
Cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Regular cultivation of Krishna consciousness.
So this is in essence, this shloka is of this. Like the first one is that the Lord Krishna's name is sweet, but we are having the jaundice of the avidya, and this jaundice will be recovered by what? The holy name. It's like the sugar candy is the solution for the jaundice, but the person who is having the jaundice, he initially feels, or the sugar candy is not tasty, it is not sweet, but the solution is of the same type only. Like he has to continue drink the sugar candy juice or taste the sugar candy itself. So the holy name is a solution for the avidya. In avidya stage, the holy name is appearing as a bitter, but till the time it appears sweet, one should test it. One should do it regularly, and one day it will be a sweet. So there is no another remedy like, okay, I am not getting a test for the holy name. The test of the holy name is you are not getting because this avidya is there, and we are having the abhinivesh more into it, so that that will be taking more time, but one day it will be very sweet for us. The people in general, they are trying very hard, and they are increasing their avidya more and more. They are we are not they are, but we are. Generally, we have to say that I am increasing my avidya more. It is that whenever we are talking about a third party, we feel that we are a liberated one. So we are more afflicted by the avidya. But one thing is that we are at least understanding that, okay, avidya is there. Outsiders, they are not understanding the avidya is there. That is a difference between a practitioner Vaishnava and outsider. They are very stooped into that, and they are not trying to understand why these sufferings are coming. They are trying to make the solutions for their sufferings, and that solution itself become a cause of the suffering. Like the hot season, in a hot season, the people are applying the AC. But due to the AC, there are so many diseases are coming. The people are becoming lazy, and the body is becoming like a balloon, and by that, the other diseases are actually inventing into it. So it is a cause of misery, or the solution of the misery is a misery itself in the outside world, in this material world. And the people are working very hard to get this 3W: wealth, woman, and wine. Wine is enjoyment. The people are after this 3W, and they are working very hard. This is like once in one of the lecture of in Hyderabad only, Prabhupada was talking about this. The people are working for this pa varga, pa, fa, ba, bha, ma, parishram. Then they are having by that fa, pa, fa. This is a feign. The face is coming from their mouth. The feign is coming. Ba means they are trying very hard to go out of this. And then the bhai, like bha is coming, and they are fearful about the death, and one day the mrityu will be coming, ma. So these people are trying very hard to go out of this, but avidya is increasing by this pa varga, pa fa ba bha ma. They are increasing their avidya more and more, because the avidya is creating a fear in the heart. Avidya means like whenever I am just thinking that I am a Maharashtrian, then when the Gujarati people are increasing in their number in my vicinity, I will be thinking, "Arey, other people are increasing, or the Muslims are increasing. What to do? Now I have to do something." But I am understanding myself that I am a Maharashtrian Hindu and many other things. And then some other people are increasing in their number with their customs and all. Then the people's fear increases. So avidya is the root cause of the fear. If somebody is not in this avidya, he will be just in a transcendental platform. Once somebody asked the question to Radhanath Maharaj, Maharaj, what has to be done? Like in India, the Muslims are increasing. What has to be done? Or the Christians are increasing. The Maharaj said, are you fearful of them? We have to see that we have to go back to God first. That is the healthy fear, that I am still here in this world and rotting in this world. I'm trying to enjoy in this world and baffled by my endeavors. So that fear of not going back to God, one has to develop it. But what the fear we are developing? Other way. My money will be lost if I'm investing here in this bank or in mutual fund. But the thing is that it is not, it is the avidya is creating a fear. But the Krishna consciousness, the fear has to be like that, why I am still here in this world? Every day morning we are getting up and we are saying that still I am here in this world. This is a famous statement of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Pad. He says that every day whenever I am coming in front of the mirror and I am saying that still I am here, I am a rascal. Still I am not developing a test for Krishna, I am a rascal. So this sort of the feelings one has to develop it. It will not come automatically. If you are not having the feeling, act like you are getting the feeling of this, or speak it. Then one day the Krishna will grant the feelings of this. But the avidya feelings are more creating a fear in our heart. Then we can understand. The people are talking about we are Hindus and we have to do so many things. That is for the social level, social background, one has to do it. I am not denying that. But too much into it, the people are nowadays, the Vaishnavas are also talking about the Hindus and Muslims and Christians and many other things. But one should see that how many years I am having it. I should try to protect the dharma. That is all right. But there is another dharma also that I have to protect it. That is parodharma, that I need to protect it. And I need to execute that from my heart. There is a apat dharma, there is a parodharma, there is a regular duties. Regular duties in that this dharma comes about Hindu, Muslims and Christians and many others. That is one part for the body. The people are nowadays saying about that what will happen to our third generation from right now. The people are increasing. The Kali Yuga will be increasing. But why don't you think about your own self first? This is like, why don't you think about that, how you will go back to Godhead? Or else now we are too much engrossed in Hindu and Muslims, then next life we may go into the Muslim community. What about that? And then we will create a fear in the heart of the Vaishnavas. We have to think about that. Oh, Krishna, I'm still here in this world, rotting in this world. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
When a man in this material world takes more interest in the materialistic way of life than in Krishna consciousness, he is considered to be in a diseased condition. The normal condition is to remain an eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera Swarupa Hai, Krishnera Nityadas.
Das.
This world of Maya is called Durashraya, which means false or bad shelter. One who puts his faith in Durashraya becomes a candidate for hoping against hope. In the material world, everyone is trying to become happy, and although their materialistic attempts are baffled in every way, due to their nescience, they cannot understand their mistakes. People try to rectify one mistake by making another mistake. This is the way of the struggle for existence in the material world. If one in this condition is advised to take Krishna consciousness and be happy, he does not accept such instructions.
So the last line is very important. If somebody is advised to practice Krishna consciousness and wanted them to make happy, he does not accept such instructions. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Nate vidum swartha gatim hi Vishnu durasharaya bhiratmanina anda andhayatante upagiyamana tepustantra urudam nibadda. Or there is another shloka. Matirna Krishne paratasvatova mithobipatte grihavatanam. Mithobipatte grihavatanam adanta gobin vishatam tamishra punah charviti charvanana. The people are interested to chew the chewing. It's like somebody is chewing the chewing gum and then he is keeping it into the wall and again he is started it. The juice will not come. The people are talking about the materialistic news. So many, it's like idhar baad aa gayi, there is a flood there. There is a problem in this country. The Iraq is doing what? The America is doing what? So many issues are there. So many, and this is like from the years like 60, 70, 80 years. Like India-Pakistan subject is like 50 years old. Every time the new generation is talking about the Pakistan and India. Every time. When I used to watch the matches, India-Pakistan matches, like the people, Indians were cheering for the India and the Pakistanis were cheering for the Pakistan. And the next generation is also doing the same. That is chewing the chew. Somebody has chewed it and we are again chewing it. The same subject matter we are trying to take interest and trying to get a juice into it. But this is not, dairy is not juice. And the Prahlad Maharaj says that there is like the people are not interested to go back to God because they wanted or they are thinking that they will be getting happiness in this world. But there is a problem. Here in this world, there is no happiness. So that's why their all endeavors are baffled. And if you say that Prabhuji is like to the new person, you can start chanting of the holy name and you will get happiness. But what the happiness they wanted to have it with the sense enjoyment, they are trying to get it, they are wanting here also. And their materialistic enjoyment perspective in a Krishna consciousness, it is the creating so much layers to cross, and they are not understanding that why I am not getting a juice, whatever the 6 Goswamis or the Mahajans used to get it. Because their avidya covering, they were not having that much. And they just crossed that avidya covering. But now you are in Krishna consciousness also, you are increasing the avidya covering. That's why you are not getting the juice. Even though you are chanting the holy name, but the avidya covering is so much, or more and more we are putting a dirt into it. That's why we are not getting a juice into it. In a Krishna consciousness way, also we are trying to enjoy. The enjoying mentality is not going at all. There is, in a Krishna conscious way, we are trying to enjoy. How many times we can just see from the morning to night, how many times we are having this thought that I would like to enjoy. Thought and deeds. Deeds are also there. Whenever we are eating a prasadam, are we really Krishna conscious of eating prasadam? Are we really in a mood of service while we are rendering this service? That is doubtful, at least for me. Like we are trying to enjoy in a Krishna conscious atmosphere. The people are appreciating, oh Prabhu, you are singing so nicely. And the people are, okay Prabhu, then why don't you put my name in a Sunday morning Mangalarti? I'm a good singer. So the person is not interested to please Krishna, but we are trying to enjoy ourselves. So that's why Radhanath Maharaj used to say that initially the person is in a dance on a dance mode, then he is, then afterwards he is a das, then he is claiming himself as a Prabhu, and then afterwards he is trying to compete with the Mahaprabhu. This happens over a period of time. After some years, it is happening. So that's why we have to be careful, this enjoying mentality, that we have to give a look. That's why it is not a Krishna activity movement, it is a Krishna consciousness movement. Consciousness is with the heart and mind. So the consciousness word is with the heart and mind. It is not with the activity. Externals, it is all right, some years, but one has to go deep into the heart while we are doing the sevas. That will help us to go out of this avidya. But you can read this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, continue, Mataji.
Oh, okay, thank you. People are generally led by blind leaders, the leaders of human society, the politicians, philosophers, and scientists are blind because they are not Krishna conscious. According to Bhagavad Gita, because they are bereft of all factual knowledge due to their aesthetic way of life, they are actually sinful rascals and are the lowest among men. Namam
Mudha prapadyante naradhama mayaya pratadnyana asuram bhavam ashrita. Read this translation.
Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion and who partake of the aesthetic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me.
So we saw that there is avidya, and as examples of the avidya, those who are following these four people, like I will be talking about them, the foolish people, then the naradhama, then the maya, aprita jnana, and asuram bhavam ashrita. These four people are there, those who are in avidya, and those who are following these politicians, philosophers, and scientists, those are materialistic people, and those who are becoming the subjects of them, they are also the avidya people. So who are this namam dushkrituno mudha? There's like some tendencies are of these four category are there in us also. Whenever we are talking about these people, we should not see that they are the third party, somebody else, those who are lying down in this road. But there are some tendencies, or else we were also there in that part of the world of this four. The first one is a foolish person. the Mudha, Namam Dishkrutuno Mudha, Krishna is saying to them, this person is a Mudha. Full. Because he is after this Pratishtha, he is after the money and he is working very hard. Why the Mudha? Mudha is also called as a Gadha in Hindi. The person is not understanding, like somebody is intervening in his life and acting in such a way that this person will be working like an ass. There's like the washerman used to keep a carrot in front of a donkey, and donkey thinks that I will be getting this carrot. So our boss, our leaders, Karmi leaders I'm talking, they are putting some deadlines, they are putting some allurements, and we are working hard. Prabhu, we are knowing that like after 2 years, 3 years, I will be getting a hike in the payment, something like 10,000, 20,000. So that's why I'm just working. I'm very sincere fellow. I'm very sincere to go to the company. I'm just doing morning. I am going 9 o'clock. I'm coming at 7 o'clock and I'm carrying my work in my home. I'm not having the time for my family members also. Even though that person is a devotee, some extent he is carrying this tendency. But outsiders, they are not aware of that Krishna consciousness. But the devotees should be very alert that, okay, whether I am also acting on this level, am I working like that? Am I not getting a time for chanting the holy name? Or I am postponing always I am doing a chanting in the night just to finish it off. We should not do it. Sometimes it is all right, but always we are making this lifestyle. So that's why we are saying that Krishna consciousness is a part of life. It is not a whole thing. There is another things also, but the Krishna consciousness is not only a part of life. Krishna consciousness is a main lifestyle for the Vaishnavas, and other responsibilities are the part of the things. But we are trying to make it like that, reverse way. Prapadyante Naradhama. Naradhama is the person of the 3 categories. The person who has took the birth from the mother and father just because they were having the enjoying tendency, and by that the child has been born, and that's why he is not knowing. And by such activity, the enjoying mentality is passed to the kid. That's why it has been mentioned, it has been always spoken in a Vaishnava circle that those who are grahasthas, they have to act very sincerely, alertful, that whether I am having that tendency, that Naradhama thing, just to enjoy and having the relationship with my partner. And then another person, the Naradhama, is that the person has taken a birth, but he is been sent, or he is not having any samskaras. There are 64 samskaras are there, and out of that he is not, the parents are not giving any samskaras. There is no garbhadana samskara. There is no other, the samskaras have not been given. And another thing added into it, that Prabhupada says that these people are sending their kids to a materialistic slaughterhouse, which is the education institute, where they are not teaching anything about the God. They are not teaching anything about the Atma. Who are we? They are not being known. I met one I always meet at least 2 or 3 families a day. So I used to keep asking the question that, do you know, for a small kids, who is Hanumanji? who is your favorite hero? Then these people asked that, oh, who is Hanumanji? One guy, one small boy asked me, Papa, uncle is asking about Hanumanji. Who is Hanumanji? I was surprised that like the small kid is not, he was 7, 8 years old. He's not knowing about Hanumanji. So it is a pathetic situation. The people are not knowing. They are going to the schools. They are not been taught like that. In a home also, there is no system of teaching that who is Hanumanji or who is Lord Ram, who is Krishna, what are the names of Krishnas. It is not been known. So what these people will be becoming in the future. The third one is that they are the Naradhamas because they are not studying the scriptures. It has been mentioned by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that these three categories, just taking a birth from the materialistic mother and father, not having the samskaras, and the third one is that they are not reading the scriptures. That's why they are the Naradhamas. Then Maya Aprutjnana. These people are having somewhat like the foolish are the lowest one. Then the Naradhamas are the next categories. Then beyond the Naradhamas, there are Maya Aprutjnana. They are somewhat scholarly. They know some scriptures here and there. They are learned one. They are knowing the characters of the ancient philosophy like Lord Ram and many others. But their knowledge has been Maya Aprita. Has been taken away by the illusory energy. And they are taking the Lord's, there is no form for the Lord. There is no Lord. And there's there is impersonal philosophy, Mayavadi philosophy. They are procreating, they are propagating. And Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, the people, those who are grossest sinful, those who are trying to exploit Krishna's property, they are trying to cheat the temples, they are trying to cheat, or they are trying to exploit the Krishna's energy like Hiranyakashipu and Ravana. Those who are having, they are knowing that the Ravana was knowing that it has been mentioned that Ravana was knowing that Sita is a wife of Lord Ram and he is the Vishnu himself. He tried to exploit her. So that is Asuram Bhavam Ashruta. In a temple scenario, so the people are cheating the temple, the people are exploiting the property, encroaching the property of the temple, and they are on the name of the temple, they are cheating. There is one person in our community, like 15 years back, he printed receipt books on the occasion of Janmashtami, and he was taking the money for himself. So pseudo receipt books made and took the money. And after 2 years, we came to know that this person has done it. My God, he was knowing that it is a Krishna's property. It is for the Krishna. How that person can be doing this? So these are the category of the people. So next slide. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Such people never surrender to Krishna, and they oppose the endeavor of those who wish to take Krishna's shelter. When such atheistics become leader of society, the entire atmosphere is surcharged with nuisance. This makes people not very enthusiastic to receive Krishna consciousness. This is like a jaundice person who does not relish the taste of jaundice, but the cure for jaundice is sugar candy. Similarly, the cure for material disease is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Rupa Goswami nonetheless advises that if one wants to be cured of the material disease, he must take to it with great care and attention. By chanting this holy name of the Lord, a person in the material condition will be revealed from all misconceptions, cheto darpana marjanam. Avidya, a misconception about one's spiritual identity, provides the foundation for ahankara or false ego within the heart. Hare Krishna.
So there are the two circles are there. There is one materialistic circle and there is one spiritual circle. For a devotee, there is two circles, especially for the grihasthas, these two circles are there always. And which circle we are emphasizing? If we are emphasizing the spiritual circle, the devotees association more and more. And in devotee association also, there are we have seen that there are the devotees, those who are blaspheming others also. So in that also, what we are opting, what is our circle, that is more important. So we have to change our circles. We have to change the circle. By that, the avidya will not be affecting us. But instead of that, we are trying to increase the materialistic circle. That's why we are more and more in a devotee circle also. We are more and more, like nowadays the devotees are also talking about the politics. The devotees are also talking about some other books. The devotees are also talking about some other periphery topics of the Krishna consciousness. By that, we are increasing the avidya. So we have to be careful what we are emphasizing in our life, which circle we are emphasizing in our life. We have to emphasize the pure Krishna consciousness circle. There are hardly, we are actually having more like 20, 30 years maximum. But why can't we become such a adherent practitioner of the Krishna consciousness? So that way we have to understand that what is my circle and where I have to go. In a society, we are so much active, all right, but whether we have given a heart for the society. There is a story goes that a crocodile and a monkey. The devotee should be like a monkey. Not a monkey means monkey in activity, but a monkey in this story, there is a monkey who was very naive, and a crocodile was used to pass from the river, and the monkey was just above the river in one tree. Every day it was like hi and hello was there. The crocodile used to say, hi, how are you? The monkey used to answer it, I am fine, what about you? But one day it happened that like crocodile was asking the monkey that, why can't you just, I have seen that you are just jumping from one tree to another, but you never come to the water. The monkey also says that I am not an animal of the water. But crocodile says that there is like the I am enjoying here in this water. So much happiness is there. I'm just, and then the crocodile showed the feet, like the upper jumping, then she came into it, and no, he came into it, the crocodile, and then diving in different ways. So the monkey got attracted, and the monkey says that, okay, it's a very good thing. And then crocodile one day asked that whether you would like to have a ride over my back. I will show you the water. Just jump over my back. I will be showing you anything. And the monkey jumped it. And the monkey jumped it over the back of the crocodile. And the crocodile and the monkey got the friendships. And one day the crocodile, he crocodile, the male, explained this to his wife that I got a friendship with the monkey. And like the monk, like she crocodile was having the envy, and she was feeling that I should eat the monkey's flesh or monkey's heart. So she pleaded that I wanted to eat your friend's heart. You can bring here. But the crocodile started actually explaining that it is not, it is like I will be having the dhoka with the my friend. How can I cheat him? How can I betray him? But henpecked husband like the crocodile, he then afterwards agreed that. And the next day, he made the monkey and says that jump on my back. And then he said that my wife would like to see you. And the crocodile was really like the friendship mood. And he explained to the monkey that after the monkey jumps over the back of the crocodile, that actually my wife wanted to eat your heart. And the monkey understood that like really it was the game. Now I just trapped into this game. So he understood and said that your wife want my heart, na? But I kept my heart over the tree. So the crocodile says that, is it? Your heart is there on a tree. So you can go back to the tree and come back again. And then the crocodile left him near to the tree, and the monkey jumped it. And then the crocodile asked that, why are you not coming back on play over my back again? Then the monkey says that, I am not a madman. You are such a fool person. With you, I am making a friendship. That was my mistake. So the devotees are like monkey. They should not make a friendship, or they should not give a heart to crocodile-like person. They should have a friendship within their own community. But whatever the social things are required, that much the relationship has to be maintained with the outsiders. And one should, in the mood of giving, there is a play of the kabaddi. Whenever we are preaching, we sometimes get affected by the other's philosophy. So we should have a strong feeling, and we should read the Krishna consciousness philosophy such a way that while preaching, we will not be affected by others. If we are getting affected, please halt it and say that to oneself that I am not at least I am not ready right now. After some time, after reading the Gita and Bhagavatam, I will be preaching again. Or else in that neophyte stage, if somebody is preaching to outsiders, he will be affected and he will be caught by the Maya. So that's why the jaundice or the avidya is affecting like this with the association of the outsiders. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The real disease is in the heart. If the mind is cleansed, however, if consciousness is cleansed, a person cannot be harmed by the material disease. To cleanse the mind and heart from all misconceptions, one should take to this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is both easy and beneficial. By chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is immediately freed from the blazing fire of material existence. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So the real problem of the heart is what? It is a lust. There are the three things are always disturbing us. Kama, Krodha, and Lobha. Lust, anger, and greed. Out of this, the lust is the prominent. Lust means always don't think like that, like the man and woman attraction. Lust is like that. The subtle lust is that of profit, adoration, and distinction. Pad bolte usko. There is a profit, adoration, and distinction. Always thinking that how I will be in profit every day. Adoration, somebody has to adore me, and I am somewhat distinct from others. I stand out from the many. So that is also a lust. Profit, adoration, and distinction. And the grossest form is that man and woman relationship. And if the lust is increasing, we are satisfying the lust. There is one person in Pune, he was having the philosophy that Sambhog se samadhi. What is the problem in that? Whenever we are increasing or we are adding a ghee over in a fire, the fire will be blazing more. So whenever we are increasing our lust, it will be increasing into the form of the lobha or the greed. And lust is disturbed, we are not satisfying it. Then what? The krodha, like the anger arises. So that's why the rudha or the heart disease is what? The real heart disease is the lust. One has to conquer the lust. And how to conquer the lust? By the chanting of the holy name. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna. 3 stages of chanting. Offensive chanting, Nama Pradha. Commits many offenses. Lessening the offenses, Nama Bhas. Awards the 10 offenses to the holy name. Pure stage, Shuddhanam. This is called Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapana. As soon as one is liberated from the blazing fire of material existence, he can relish the taste of transcendental life.
So Aparadhanam, this is the first one is Aparadhanam. What is Aparadhanam? Where chanting, within the chanting we are doing the offenses. That doesn't mean that, okay, while chanting we are doing offenses. It is not like that. The whole day, the whole month, the whole year, what we are doing and we are chanting. If we are committing the offenses the whole day and then the next day, whatever we are chanting, it is called Aparadhanam. So Aparadhanam is not that while chanting we are committing some offenses, but it is a whole day activity. What we are thinking, what is the process of that? So it is a offensive chanting. We are committing the offenses. These are the 10 offenses. Everybody must be knowing it. And then the 7th is the, like the 1st, 2nd, and 7th is the deadly offenses. The 7th is what? Naam ke bal pe paap karna. I am chanting Prabhuji, so I can do anything, and the chanting will nullify it. That is the grossest offense. You should not chant for that, and it is a naam aparadh. That is the offensive chanting. One is thinking that I am chanting, so that's why I can do anything. No, naam ke bal pe paap nahi karne. Don't do a sin on the basis of the holy name. Lessening the offenses, like nama bhas. Here one is understanding that, okay, I should not commit a holy name offense. Holy name offenses starts with the Guru or the Vaishnavas. There are the first 3 offenses of the 10 offenses. You must be knowing and you must have by-hearted these offenses. Every day you have to sing this before chanting the holy name. One has to sing this offenses. By that one is ready that, okay, I should not commit offenses towards a Vaishnava. I should not make an equal position of the Lord Shiva and the Brahma and the Lord Krishna himself. So that is the offenses, and one has to study them carefully and try to avoid it. That stage comes when somebody is really giving a good amount of time and understanding what are the offenses. So please go and read the Sachinandan Maharaja's book of the holy name, Art of Chanting the Holy Name. If that is, if you can read it, you will be understanding that, or the Nectarian Ocean of the Holy Name, that another book is there. So if you can read this, you will be understanding what exactly the offenses of the holy name are. And then the third one is that whenever the sunlight comes, then the darkness goes. So that Shuddhanam, one Shuddhanam is enough to eradicate all the sins, to eradicate all the avidyas, to eradicate all the anarthas, that one Shuddha Nam is enough. So that is a pure stage will come after some time that we are aspiring for. Kabe habe bolo se dina amar, aparadhe guchi, Shuddha Name ruchi. It's like, when will that day will come that I will not be committing any offenses, and Shuddha Name ruchi, I will be having the test for the holy name in the form of in its purest form. That day I am aspiring for. That should be the prayers while chanting the holy name. This we have done it. Then we are going for the next. So how a person is doing inattentive chanting, that is the thing is mentioned here. Somebody can read quickly.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. I will read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please.
Inattentive chanting, mother of all offenses. Chanting becomes a mere jaw exercise. Our zeal for distributing Krishna consciousness should not be more than our desire to be purified. We should be
Yeah.
responsible.
Yeah.
We should be responsible at the same time, detached affection, but no attachment. Example, parents, child, car. Roles and responsibilities. Don't mix it. Home and office. Krishna is the real controller, doer. We are proprietors for a short time. Example, king and minister. I stands like Mount Everest, although what we do is small.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So it is like inattentive chanting. It is a 11th offense. To chant inattentively is also the offense. And sometimes it is a mere joy experience, like exercise. We are chanting, but where we are thinking, where we are looking, the activity is going on, it is exercise. And in a role of preaching, the preachers, they are neglecting their purification process. Prabhu, late night I was just preaching, I was having the programs. So every day it is happening, and in the name of giving Krishna consciousness to many people, he himself is affected. Oh, Prabhu, my chanting is very poor. One should think that. My goal is that to get purified oneself and then give Krishna consciousness. On the basis of what we are preaching, so that's why my chanting is hampering. This is not a good practice. Somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I will.
Yeah.
When mind gets distracted, when things don't happen the way we want, when we have tremendous expectation from others, when others
Yeah.
correct us and we are not able to take it, Swabhava of a person cannot be changed so easily. Everyone has free will, either to accept Krishna or not to accept him. Give up your upadhis, sarvopadhi,
Whenever
vinir.
become,
This world is like a drama stage for short time.
so the chanting, the mind is going away, or it is a distracted mind, and there is a drowsiness, distraction and drowsiness comes. Drowsiness is because the people, the main thing is that the drowsiness is due to a body is heavily utilized for some activities on the name of Krishna consciousness, either eating too much in the night, or going out, Hare Krishna, going out and trying to expand that, okay, I can now be a good preacher. Every day I will be having a late night programs. By that, in the morning, what will happen? Drowsiness will be there. And the mind distraction. Mind distraction is the major role to play in chanting the holy name. Because whenever we are preaching, whenever we are having some roles and responsibility to execute, we are attached with that. Oh, Prabhu, I am the COM member here. I am the Rath Yatra in charge. And while the Rath Yatra 2 months, like whenever we are making the arrangements, my whole attention is going to where? How the Rath Yatra will be executed. My whole attention is going to where? Oh, my department is how it will be working. So in your cases, the things will be different. But where our attachment is there, while chanting, the holy name is telling where is my attachment. So one can just mention it out. In the chanting, I was thinking what? There I am too much attached. Oh, my son or daughter is not hearing. And the mind is going there while chanting. How will I teach a lesson to him? How will I teach a good lesson that he will be hearing me? Why he is not hearing? Why she is not hearing me? So that is the where our attachments are there. That way the mind is taking us while chanting. So one should be in that mood of giving up the attachments. These are the areas where chanting is telling me these are your attachments. Whole day it will not come into the picture, but while chanting it will come into picture. This will not take. Okay, this also we will not be taking. This one you can read. Please read. Yeah.
If one is sincere, he is initiated, and this stage is called Bhajana Kriya. It means 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting daily, refraining from illicit sex, intoxicants, meat eating, and gambling. He no longer goes to a restaurant or hotel to taste so-called palatable dishes made with meat and onions. Nor does he care to smoke or drink tea or coffee. He not only refrains from illicit sex but avoids sex life entirely. Nor is he interested in wasting his time in speculating or gambling. The word anartha refers to unwanted things. Anarthas are banished when one becomes attached to the Krishna consciousness moment. Hare Krishna.
So this is a barometer where the people, one can see that how a person is, whether I am advancing or not. He is not interested for what? To going into the hotel and eating there. The person who is developing a taste for the holy name, the people ask us a question. Prabhu, I am now started chanting 16 rounds. What is that? Okay, I am advancing. This is like whenever the symptoms are there, with the symptoms we are understanding the disease. Still that person is interested to go back to the hotel life, restaurant eating, outside eating, tea and coffee, and illicit sex with the others. So that is that whenever he is not doing it voluntarily, once only somebody is telling that Prabhuji, this should not be done, then he is accepting because of his chanting, he is advancing rightness. The bhava or that like the stage comes like that he will be accepting whatever his preceptor is telling. Here it is written that he not only refrains from illicit sex but avoids sex life entirely. It is like for the grahasthas, it is a license, but that license should not be like it is a whole lifetime. At any time, anywhere, there are also some rules and regulations are there. So that's why it is mentioned. With the rules and regulations, whatever it is mentioned in the scriptures, if that person is following that, then he is advancing. Yeah, somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, read it, Prabhuji. Yeah. Read it, Prabhu.
Okay. When a person is relieved from unwanted things, he becomes fixed in executing his Krishna activities. Indeed, he becomes attached to such activities and experiences ecstasy in executing devotional service. This is called bhava, the preliminary awakening of dormant love of Godhead. Thus, the conditioned soul becomes free from material existence and loses interest in the bodily conception of life, including material opulence, material knowledge, and material attraction of all variety. At such a time, one can understand who the Supreme Personality of Godhead is and what his Maya is. Although Maya may be present, it cannot disturb a devotee once he attains the bhava stage. This is because the devotee can see the real position of Maya. Maya means forgetfulness of Krishna, and forgetfulness of Krishna and Krishna consciousness stand side by side like light and shadow.
So although Maya may be present, it cannot be disturbed a devotee once he attains the stage of bhava stage. So this stage of the attaining the bhava stage is Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Asakti, Ruchi, then bhava, and then the prema. These stages are there. So these stages one can achieve by the chanting only, by the chanting of the holy name and serving the Vaishnavas. And there is a good example of this is Bilwan Mangal Thakur. Although Maya may be present, it cannot be disturbed a devotee once he attains the bhava stage. Bilwan Mangal Thakur was a Brahmana by birth, but when he was married, still he was having the illicit sex connection with the prostitute named Chintamani. And when his father passed away, at that night only, he wanted to have a sangha or association with the prostitute. So he crossed the river, thinking that it is like and then he came near to the Chintamani's house. It was a 2-story building, and that house was locked, but she was staying upstairs, and the light was burning that time. So he jumped over the wall and came to meet Chintamani. And while he was coming, he was holding a snake in a hand. And with the help of the snake, he came. He just thought that it is a rope only, but afterwards he came to know that it was a snake. So what was the affection? What was that drive? It was such a, he was mad after the sex life that he wanted to meet Chintamani at a date night. And the Chintamani prostitute told that how you came, the river was flooded. So he said that it was like a boat. I got the boat, but it was not a boat. It was a dead body. With that dead body's help, he came here. So Chintamani says that if the same attraction, if you have shown to the Krishna, then you would have achieved Krishna consciousness and Krishna prema. And by that statement, he just says that, Chintamani, you opened my eyes, now you are my guru. And he left her and wanted to go to Vrindavan. And on the way, again, he got a strong desire by seeing another woman who was fetching the water. She was a Brahmani, and he started following her again, another woman. And that woman hurried up, and she went into her home and explained to her husband. And the Brahmana came out and says that, Atithi Deva Bhava, what you wanted? So the Bilwa Mangal Thakur was so shameless. He says that I wanted to associate you with your woman or your wife. And the Brahmana says that it was like you are by birth, you are the Brahmana. How such nasty desires are coming in your heart? By that statement, Bilwa Mangal Thakur again got the realization, and he says that anyhow my lust is not going. Then he says that give me one charity, the hairpin of your wife. And then she gave with the permission, and with the hairpins he plucked open the eyes on the spot. And then here he was really lamenting that what a nasty person I am. I'm always looking for the lust. And then afterwards he started going to Vrindavan, was asking the path. And one day he fell down in a ditch and nobody was there to save him. And he started singing the bhajans of Krishna. And that time Krishna and Balaram came and says that, it's like they were not mentioning that we are the Krishna and Balaram. They just rescued him and they were walking with him. And Bilva Mangal Thakur was explaining how Krishna looks like, and Krishna was laughing and Balaram was explaining that how Krishna looks like. By seeing the beauty of the Krishna, he was explaining Krishna is a blackish, he is having the peak of feather over his head. And Bilva Mangal Thakur at that time wrote some song with the help of the Balramji. And then afterwards, within his heart, he got a realization that these two personalities with whom I am walking, after enough glorification of the Krishna by his prayers, he got a realization in a heart that these two personalities are divine personalities, the Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna gave him the vision. And Bilva Mangal Thakur says that I don't want it. Better I can be blind, because I wanted to see the material beauty and would like to exploit it. Better I can be blind only materially. I am seeing the beauty of yours in my heart. So that is a Bilva Mangal Thakur, the pastime. So he is, although Maya may be present, it cannot be disturbing a devotee once he attains the Bhava stage. And after that, Bilva Mangal Thakur passed his whole life in Vrindavan. And so many songs he wrote it. By just seeing the Krishna in a heart, he was writing the songs. He was blind. Yeah, somebody can read this one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Prabhuji, I will read. By taking to Krishna consciousness, one gradually becomes liberated and remains in light. Indeed, he does not even touch the darkness, as confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 22.31. Krishna, Surya Sama, Maya Haya, Andhakara.
Maya hai andhakar, jaha Krishna taha nahi maya ra adhikar.
It means that Krishna is compared to sunshine and Maya is compared to darkness. Wherever there is sunshine, there cannot be darkness. As soon as one takes to Krishna consciousness, the darkness of illusion, the influence of the external energy will immediately vanish.
Yeah. So one has to take the process of Krishna consciousness. Krishna Surya Sama Maya hai andhakara. The illusory energy will not be having her effect on the devotee when that devotee is clinged to the Krishna consciousness. One has to be attached to the tree of the Krishna consciousness. Once the tree fruits falls down, then it will be stepped over by many. But if the tree and the fruits are connected with the tree, then it will be having that connectivity and nobody can disturb it. So one has to have or develop a strong connection with the Krishna conscious tree. ISKCON is like a tree, and one should develop a strong connection with the ISKCON. Not in a social way. Okay, I am also a devotee of Krishna consciousness, or I am also visitor of the Krishna consciousness, or I am also playing some part as a manager in ISKCON. No. ISKCON means it is not a manager. ISKCON means it is a devotee of Krishna. ISKCON means it is like a strong desire to serve Krishna without having any other material motives. Just to be a namesake, it is like somebody is as a manager, or somebody is having the dhoti and kurta and wearing the tilak and beads. It is not a Krishna consciousness. It is just external show off of the Krishna consciousness. It means to love Krishna, to serve Krishna in such a way that it is like, it is not for me. I'm not going to increase my avidya more. I would like to sincerely serve you, O Lord. And every day one should offer the prayers that I wanted to serve you, O Lord, without any material motives. And that prayers will be helping us. So we are going with something. Yeah. This, yeah, next one. How constant chanting helps.
Hare Krishna. Beauty of constant hearing is that our mind is becoming cleansed of avidya even without knowledge. The mind, when not absorbed in Krishna, goes to material things. So one should give constant hearing. Chanting gives determination, scriptures give discrimination. We may what is right from the scriptures, but we don't have the strength to walk the right path. Chanting gives us the determination. Why we say so? Krishna is cleaning our hearts. Is it Hridayanto hi?
Abhadrani.
Abhadrani. Intelligence is getting trained to subordinate the mind. Hare Krishna.
So one way is to increase our chanting, constant chanting. There is a 16 rounds on chanting beats, and a whole day having the chanting consciousness. Sachinandan Maharaj says that in his book that this 2 hours of chanting is not enough, but 22 hours of preparation of the chanting is the good way to improve our chanting. So this 22 hours, what we are doing, that will be helping us in 2 hours. And this 22 hours Krishna conscious, not only just verbally chanting, but it is constant thinking about the Krishna, the seva about the Krishna. Even though you are socially working outside, but that is like connecting that social work for the Krishna. How we are doing all the activities in a Krishna-centric way, that will improve our chanting. It's a constant thinking about how to improve the chanting. This will make us really improve the chanting. Quality of utterance. Somebody can read this one.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Queen Kunti, Janmaishwarya. Queen of quality of utterness matters. Helplessness, dependence on Lord. Example, Draupadi, Gajendra. Child's cry, Yashoda. Nature of material world, how we are conditioned. Example, Indra.
So here it is mentioned that only a namakshar hoy, naam nahi hoy. Sorry, my battery is low. I will just plug into it. Sorry. So namakshara hoy, naam nahi hoy. Place that we are chanting the holy names. It is a nama and akshar. We are just chanting. But what is the bhav or what is the mood behind it, and whether it is a quality utterance? That quality utterance will give some results. Will give the results. Not some. Will give the results. But only chanting Hare Krishna, that the people are always asking the question, Prabhu, 20 years I am chanting. What is right? Actually, I am not getting any results. It is not test. But this, like the Bhurijan Prabhu always says that whenever he comes to Pune, he says that, and he is having the Japa retreat also sometimes here with us. And he says that this like how you are chanting. What you are chanting, it is important. How you are chanting. You should chant exclusively. You should utter every word and heard that way. And in that prayerful mood, whole day you are the prayerful mood. Oh Krishna, I am really helpless. That is like the child's cry. The mother knows that why the child is crying. Whenever the mother is there in the kitchen and the child is crying in a main entrance hall, and when that helplessness is there, then the mother leaves all the job inside the kitchen and comes out and takes care of the child. And then again she goes back to the kitchen, and then again the child is crying. That time the mother knows that the child is crying for the toy. It is not for me. So the Krishna knows that what you are chanting and how you are chanting and why you are chanting. So that helplessness or the dependability of the Krishna consciousness will make our chanting very pure. It is not external thing, it is internal thing. One should have that mood that, oh Krishna, I am really rotting in this world. I never experience any joy in this world. I really feel that it's like, unless you are rescuing me and you have given me the medicine, but that medicine I am not taking seriously. Please allow me to take this medicine seriously. Please help me. By that way, the Krishna consciousness will be arising in our heart, such a way that the people will be mesmerized at how the holy name 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, it is helping me to develop such a consciousness with the service attitude. It's like now we are doing some sevas, and after chanting so dependent on Krishna, then our service attitude will be really different. So that is the mood, utterance, the holy name. One should not eat the holy name syllables. One should be hearing properly word by word, and one should have the mood of that helplessness. By that, the holy name will reciprocate. Holy name is Krishna himself. And so the Krishna reciprocates, so the holy name also reciprocates. Test your own chanting that we will not be taking. Preparing our consciousness for chanting. One can read this.
Hare Krishna. Preparing our consciousness for chanting. Holy name is like seed, but the heart should be fertile for the seed to grow. For the heart to become fertile, we need to cultivate certain qualities. Gratitude, example Ramanujacharya. Otherwise, we will take the gift cheaply. Knowledge and faith about Krishna, his qualities, Tattva Vibrama.
Okay, I will not be explaining everything here because it will take some time and we are having very less time. So this gratitude example is Ramanujacharya. How much he was grateful that like his spiritual master Yamunacharya gave him the gift, and gave him the gift of what? This is about the process and about the holy name. Only he gave the holy name, but Yamunacharya never met him. But Yamunacharya's disciples met Ramanujacharya, and they gave one disciple gave one gift to Ramanujacharya, and he was so grateful that he never kept it for himself only, but he distributed. Once Mahapurna gave him the gift of the holy name or the Diksha, then Mahapurna told him that you don't distribute, it is very confidential mantra. So you can keep it for yourself and it will deliver you. So Ramanujacharya, the next day, was like after the Diksha, he immediately goes and stands above one temple and calls all the people in general and says that I am having the topmost gift for you. And what is that gift? I am just giving you whatever my spiritual master has given me as a very confidential gift. I am just offering it to you. And then afterwards, the Mahapurna comes to know that, oh, he distributed and he disobeyed me. And his disciples brings Ramanujacharya back to the ashram and says that, why you disobeyed? And he says that, if it is doing a welfare for many, then why should I keep it for myself only? The real gratitude is there whenever the disciple is distributing the orders or the distributing the holy name of the Lord, which has been given by the spiritual master, then the real gratitude will be developing. And then the Mahapurna says that this really, that he has understood that what exactly the gratitude means. Gratitude means is that what you got it, you should not only keep it with yourself, but you should distribute also. And in the mood of that, I am just trying to help my spiritual master. There are another 2-3 slides are there. I would like to end up with this slide only. Somebody can read this one. It's very important.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can read it. Offering prayers. Oh Krishna, may I always feel your presence in my heart, in my mind, in my life, and wherever I may go. Oh Giridhari, you are the ocean of mercy and love. Let my love, for you become a roaring flame. Please fill my heart with purity, humility, joy, goodness, and sublime virtues. Oh Lord Shama, please reveal your enhancing form to me. Please cleanse my mind of all evil thoughts and help me concentrate on your beautiful lotus feet. Please deliver me by illuminating my mind with the light of perfect knowledge. Please melt my stone like heart and let it flow towards you alone. O Madhava, please give me strength to control my crazy mind. Grant me the desire and the ability to serve you and all others. Please make my heart pure and my devotion to Guru strong. May I become a surrender servant in your hands. Hare Om, Hare Om, Hari. Please attract my heart by showing your unsurpassed sweetness. Krishna, oh Krishna, please purify my mind with knowledge of bhakti given to me by your own devotees. Krishna, oh Krishna, please give me form faith in your name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Hare Krishna.
So these are the prayers. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj has written one book, Beggar. In that, these prayers are mentioned in this. And oh Krishna, I'm really helpless. If something is not in your hand, it is going out of your hand, then what we do? We generally say that it is not in my hand, but it is in somebody's hand. So we beg, oh, please give me this one. Please give me. Krishna is the personality who is having all the heart for hearing the prayers. The people says that whether Krishna hear our prayers, Krishna hears, Krishna thinks, and when to give it, he also make a decision. So one thing is there in our hand is to offer the prayers. And the beggars are not choosers. Whenever we are begging, we should wait for some time. The merciful glance will come. And we are constantly in a begging mood, then only the Krishna will be appealed by that. Or one day only, he is asking only for one day. No, we are into that. We are eternally the part and parcel of Lord, and we are eternally dependent on the Lord and his mercy. So our constitution position is to serve him and offer prayers. So by that, our mind will be controlled and we will able to take this nectar of the holy name and get purified. There is one good prayer, this is Gopinath. Gopinath, mama nivedana shuno, Vishay durjana sada kamerata, किछु नहीं मोरा गुण गोपीनाथ, किछु नहीं मोरा गुण. Hey Gopinath, I am Vishayi Durjana. I am too much attacked or attached with the avidya. Vishayi Durjana. Sada kame rehta. I am always lusty. I am always having this avidya and lust in my heart. And I am not having any qualification to serve you. But you please hear my plea that I wanted to serve you. I want to serve you. How can I serve you? By these sincere prayers of the Vaishnava Acharyas, we can just repeat them, by heart that, by repeatedly praying in front of Lord and into his deity form. By that, our heart one day will be purified and we can able to chant the holy name constantly, sincerely, and attentively. And by that, one day we will be having the Krishna Prem in our life. So the prayers are the important roles for the sadhaka to get a merciful glance from the Lord. So every day one should have or make a norm in the life that I will be offering some prayers. Initially, it may be officially, but afterwards one gets the meaning of that prayers. There are so many prayers are there in the Bhagavatam. You can take the prayers of the Gajendra, you can take the prayers of the Kunti Maharani and start by hearting it. You will love that. And you will develop a good relationship with the Lord by that prayers. So that way one can increase the sincerity to chant the holy name attentively. And by that way, one can advance in Krishna consciousness. Here only we are stopping it. 7th verse is done. Next time we will be doing 8th verse. Hare Krishna. If somebody is having some questions, or else afterwards, I would like to get introduction from your side. Like I have seen some faces, but I am not knowing their name and what you people are doing. So if you can explain about yourself for 1 minute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandavata Pranam. I have a question. So in one of the things we were saying that while chanting, obviously the mind gets attracted to things that we have in pipeline, right? So for example, when we get any service in the temple, most of the times, if it is usually it's on festival days, right? So it will be tight schedule, and then we would definitely be thinking that how to do and what to do. Though you get up very early in the morning, doing chanting, obviously the mind gets attracted to thinking about it. So in such a case, how do we make sure that you're intact chanting as per the recommendations, keeping your mind calm and then polite to the Supreme Lord?
Yeah, so that's why it is. See, whenever we are getting the service, that service is a privilege, seva adhikar for us, and we are getting it because we are chanting the holy name. We are not the outsiders. The people have seen it that we are chanting, and in the prayers also we are asking that, oh Krishna, please engage me into your service. And whatever the medium we are having it of getting the seva is a chanting. And Krishna inspires some other devotee, okay, he can do this seva because he is very sincere. So by that way, whatever the medium we are getting the service through, why we are neglecting that? Oh, okay, if it is sometime it is happening that, okay, for the Jalmashtami, so many services are there and we are too much blocked up with their services, and our constant focus is going with that. But in heart to heart, we have to think, am I the controller or the executor of this services? Without me also the seva will be happening. I will be doing a planning, not while chanting. The planning can be done before or after the chant of that particular seva. But what the mind thinks that, oh, you will not be having the time to do that. But if we are chanting sincerely, attentively, the Krishna gives the time. It happens with me. One day is like one day prior to the Rath Yatra. It was such a heavy day for me. All the arrangements has to be done, and then the next day, on the day of the Rath Yatra, I was always thinking that this thing has not been done. There is one LED display is remaining, and I was just thinking that I should go and meet that particular devotee, why he has not started the LED display of the Rath Yatra. Then I was just thinking that, okay, if the LED display has not yet started, but the rest other things are done now. Why I want only, and that time only, after this 2 hours, I will be going and asking him. But that time only, whenever that thought process were actually hampering my chanting, that one devotee came and said that, Prabhuji, LED display ka kaam ho gaya, Prabhuji. Sorry, I was late for that. We are thinking that I can do so many things and in perfection way. But Krishna don't want that you have to sacrifice your chanting and do something. He will not be pleased with that service in your attentive chanting, or else you are neglecting your chanting and going and executing that seva. The main important seva for the sadhaka is chanting. There is another bad example, is like that one should not do. Whatever it is, priority or emergency, that one can do it immediately. Like when I was very new and we were staying in a bamboo house here in a Cam temple in 1999 or 2000 somewhere, and we were the residents, and the brahmachari ashram was different, and the brahmacharis that time were the managing the whole thing, the water supply and many other things. And it was a leakage, and whole water was flooding to the bamboo house where we were staying. So our in charge told me that you can go and approach such a devotee so and so. In the morning only 5:30, everybody was chanting, and I approached him and I said that, Prabhu, this water is flooding to our residential areas. Then he says that, like he showed that I am chanting. Then I came back to the in charge and said that he is chanting, I cannot disturb him. No, go and meet him. That is like everything will be a loss. Our 5 lakhs rupees, the money and many other things will be at lost. So I again went, and he showed me that don't disturb me. Then I told to another person who was next to him, and he was quite senior than him, and he says that bamboo house will be drowned into the flood. Please tell him to come and stop that. We are not knowing where is the switches and many other things. So he can do something. So that devotee ran. It's like another person ran, and he says that, forget about my chanting. It is the devotees are not, devotees are disturbed by that. It's like something is happening and it is disturbing to the devotees. And I was quite new how he can say like that, forget about my chanting, and he is just running. And then afterwards, I checked with another senior devotee, and he says that whatever it is emergency, that has to be executed. One should not say that. It's like, but emergencies are not always or every day. Emergencies are for some time. But if you are having some seva, which is well planned, and that day only your sevas are coming in your thought process, then I feel the management has not been done properly of that particular seva, or else we are in a mode of controller. So that we have to look into what I am thinking about. Whether I am a fully perfectionist to as it is, jaise bola hai waise hi hona chahiye. No, something in a Krishna consciousness atmosphere, in institution where we are in, The perfectionists are always what we can say. The perfectionist way is not worked. I always used to think that I will be giving 100%, but there is always a chance that somebody who is there with you as a team member, he will be doing something negligence for the seva, and you will be thinking, "Arey Prabhuji, usne aisa kyun kiya? I was so planned with my services, and somebody is affecting my services." Somebody's negligence, that also we can. It is not that we should say that okay, it is all the things are in the hands of the Krishna, but whatever we have done our best, rest is the part of the Krishna. Rest is a part of Krishna. And we should not say to the others, those who are our service authority, Prabhu, the rest is a part of Krishna. No, we should say that I will be doing my best. And then the things will not come in our chanting. Even if it is coming, then we can easily make it calm. Okay. Now it is not a time for my management. The other time is there. After this chanting, I will be doing some management, whatever it is possible. But right now I will be chanting, and Krishna will set right the things which has not been managed. After 2 hours, I will be going out and see that what all the other things are remaining, that I will be doing perfectly. Or else Krishna will not be happy. Krishna will be saying, you are neglecting my chanting holy name, and you are trying to please me by some other way. But the most efficient and effective way to please me is the chanting. Hare Krishna. Hope that it will be answering.
Yes, Prabhuji. Maybe one small follow-up thing that I have. So usually what I try to do is when there is no attention on the round that I do, or the no attention on the mantra that I do, I try to repeat it. And is that what is recommended, or how do you go about it, Prabhuji? At times, because of which it goes more than 108 in a single round because of inattentiveness.
Yeah, so that's why there are some other people are doing some other practices. Like one of my senior used to do it, that in 108 beats he was having some thread in between, like after every 16 or 18 beats he was having a thread. So he was knowing that it is a 16th beat I am just chanting. So that way it was helping. Some of the people are always keeping the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with them. So by that, the utterance and the attention will be increasing. Whatever it helps, it is helping for you. There's like the keeping the picture of the Lord and the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in front of you, and chant very slowly initially, not in hurry that I need to finish my chanting within that span of like the time. No, but 2 hours are the standards.
Yeah.
The person who is clear, sometimes some good chanters, they are taking 1 hour 40 minutes or something like that. But initially we have to give attention that what I am chanting, whether I am chanting the Hare Krishna or sometimes Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So Ram Ram is not being chanted. It is also offense. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every word we are hearing, then it will be having a tremendous effect in our life.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One quick thing. In one of the slides, it is mentioned that a devotee, once he attains the bhava stage, but if you take Bharat Maharaj example, is the stage of bhava, right? And how can we understand, Prabhuji? I mean,
what was your question then?
No, it's a fall down, right? I mean, fall down from the bhava stage, right?
Yeah, exceptions are there. No? Exceptions are not usual. Exceptions are exceptions. Bhava stage also, somebody is attached, then he can fall down. That is the exception of the Bharat Maharaj. So Krishna wants to tell us that even if you are at the stage of the bhava, but you are developing an attachment to something material, you will fall down. But generally it is not. It is the exception. Krishna is teaching some lesson through these stories, Bhagavatam stories.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
This is Lovish from Hyderabad.
Your voice is not clear,
You
Prabhuji.
mentioned that. Can you hear me now?
Prabhuji, your voice is very feeble.
Can you hear me now?
No, Prabhuji, it is like disturbed voice.
Very good. Can you hear me now, Praveen?
Your voice is still distorted, Prabhu. It's coming very. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I
Hare
ask
Krishna.
a question?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to understand this anarth nivarti, right? Whenever you do not have a taste, right? So how would we know, right? What are the symptoms, right? You made an offense somewhere. Is it due to that, or you are a beginner and it's a natural thing and it will take its own time to get right little attraction? Or is it due to some offense you have done? So what is, I'm just trying to understand, is there any symptoms we could identify? This is due to an offense, and how to mitigate those offenses?
Yeah. Which particular offense? By that we are not getting a taste of the holy name. That is very difficult because so many offenses are there. So which particular offense towards which devotee, whether in this lifetime or in a previous lifetime or whatever it is. But we have committed offenses, that is in general. Like we are not that elevated to identify which offenses towards which devotee. It was a Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami's example is there. Rupa Goswami was doing a meditation over the Lord's Leela, and there is one another Vaishnava who was handicapped. He was limping and passing by. But Rupa Goswami was having a half eye open, and he was having this Leela Smarana, that Krishna is holding Radharani and Radharani is plucking the flowers. And in between, Krishna gives up the Radharani for the hold, and Radharani drops down. And Krishna laughs, and here Rupa Goswami also laughs. And that limping Vaishnava who was handicapped, he thought that he is laughing at my limping. So immediately Rupa Goswami Pad's smaranam goes away. And he is not understanding why it is gone off. So his elder brother comes, Sanatana Goswami, and he says to him that I was just having this Leela Smaranam, but now it unfortunately it was not happening now. It is not happening right now. So the Sanatana Goswami goes in a trance, and he sees the situation where Rupa Goswami Pad was really immersed into the Leela of the Krishna, and that Vaishnava was passing, and that Vaishnava got disturbed. He took an offense that he is laughing at me. So Sanatana Goswami Pad says that because of this, your Leela Smaran is affected. So Sanatana Goswami says that better we can call all the Vaishnavas, including that. And they calls and they serve the Vaishnavas. By that, again, the Rupa Goswami Pad was there, remembering the past times. So our thing is that which particular offense, where we have made a mistake, better we can in the solution part. We can serve the Vaishnavas. But if we know that in this particular time, I have not spoken a good word to the Vaishnava, or I offended him with my heavy words or action, then we can immediately beg pardon, beg forgiveness from that Vaishnava, with a genuine heart. Otherwise, it's like we are knowing that, oh, this particular Vaishnava we are offending, but we are not asking the forgiveness, and we are saying that we will be serving all the Vaishnavas. No. That particular Vaishnava we are knowing that we offended him, so we can ask forgiveness from him. What it takes to ask the forgiveness is we should not think that, oh, Prabhu, why should I go and pay the obeisances to him? Why should I bow down whenever he is offending me? He is not doing that. His sadhana may be all good, and I am not a Vaishnava, so that's why it is not offenses. But my sadhana is affected. That's why I need to rectify this. So one should be very careful with the Vaishnava dealing. Hare Krishna. Hope that it answers you.
Yeah.
We are having we elapsed our time also, and the host will be worried that, okay, this person is taking so much time. But I wanted to know you all. So when we can have the session, next time we can have the 10 minutes till before 6:20 we can join. And I would like to ask you this, like who you are and what you are doing. So I should know about you. So next time we can join 6:20. Is it all right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay. So Wednesday we will be joining 6:20. Please take a note of this.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hope that you are all preparing for the exams. Close